What's up, guys? Today we're going to make a video kind of on how to be smarter part 2, right? So if you haven't seen how to be smarter, I don't like you very much because you should go and see it. It's very important. It's how you can become a better person, not just better at Han, but a better person. Please, please go watch it. That's part of the reason I made this channel, to make people smarter. And recently I've been seeing a lot of stupidity. And as soon as I'm done raging at stupidity, because I think, oh my god, how can people be this? Oh my god, this is so dumb. As soon as I'm done with that, I kind of go smart mode and think, well, just raging won't help. I mean, just raging in the heat of the moment is cool and all, but like, I have to try and fix this somehow. So I've been thinking, and you will see a video I will upload a bit later. It's already recorded and everything, but it will be about this kind of stuff. Where I try and make people smarter in my gameplay already. It will be like a gameplay video, but in this one, I'm just gonna talk and show you examples of just situations where people identify mistakes incorrectly, and basically, it doesn't help them in any way, shape, or form. It's just bad, basically. It's bad. Oh my god, SomaZ saying bad. Wow, I had so much respect for you, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so, today's video we're going to look at a couple of fragments, and I'm just going to try and make people smarter, make people think again, and I'm going to be doing these videos more often, and probably not just on the topic of Han, but this is going to be Han specific. How to get better at the game. Okay, so I know that I don't last hit well. My game mechanics are kind of rusty. I misclick often. But somehow magically, even though you like to say I'm bad and you think you're really good, somehow magically, according to math and logic, which, I mean, math and logic, that's just who uses that? Like, people who want good arguments? According to math and logic, somehow I'm in the top 5% of players in Han. Oh my god, so much boasting about it. No, 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 no. You're misunderstanding. What I want is not to boast about how I'm 1700, I'm so amazing, so cool. I want you to also get on this level. I want you to get better at this game and coincidentally smarter. Just I'm trying to help, okay? It's not about boasting or whatever is in your head. If you're thinking this is boasting, just stop being stupid. It's stupid thinking like that, okay? It's useless to hate. Okay, hating is also retarded. But more on that topic in another video. So what are we gonna do about this thing? Okay, I have some clips prepared here. So let's take a look at clip number 1. So Plague Rider tells me that he has his ultimate, so I assume that he's ready to use it and ready to go in. I go in, followed by my death. A lot of people did not understand the situation. Okay, so now that we've watched that, what happened there? A lot of people go, oh, SomaZ, it's your mistake and blah blah. Thinking like that is not only stupid, but more importantly, it's useless. You're not going to learn anything from it if you continue thinking that way. It's like, imagine if a pebbles tossed you in 5 enemies. A lot of people automatically assume you died because it's your bad. I mean, you could have disabled help so he couldn't have tossed you. It's your mistake. Well, as much as that is true, that is useless. It's not gonna help you become a better player. And what I do in Han is I assume that it is a team game and I try to achieve the most perfect situation possible, the most perfect outcome. We'll probably never reach perfection in Han because it's just way too difficult, but we try to get to perfection as close as possible, at least like good players do. And in this situation, I assume that we as a team work together and we try to make the best outcome possible. So what's the best outcome? Well, obviously Tempest dies and we both survive, and that's really kind of it. That's the best outcome. A good outcome is, for example, Plague Rider dies and Tempest dies, because in exchange of a support Plague Rider of low level for Tempest, pretty good. So what mistakes, like you have to analyze a situation and think in terms of what mistakes happened. Only then can you kind of take away from the situation and like think and improve. If you just assume the stupidest things, then nothing will happen. You have to look at the situation and think of what every single person could have done differently to become better at the game. It's really, really quite simple. So in this specific situation, we see Plague tells me that his ultimate is ready. Then let's take a look at this clip again. When I'm moving, he's completely out of position, nowhere near, puts on armor on me, but okay. Comes closer, again kind of pulls back a little bit for some reason, and then uses a very late ultimate. His excuse later, he doesn't have mana. He had enough mana if he used his mana better earlier. You can check that by rewinding. He basically made some mistakes, and specifically people like lashed out at Rage, but like, why do people get so offended by stupid things? It's like, Rage, who cares, whatever, forget about it. The important thing here is to improve and learn from it. Like, stupid things make me rage. So yeah, ignore everything, analyze the situation. Like, what pissed me off in that game specifically was that, like, he started making excuses or whatever, who cares, right? Alright, let's analyze the situation. I went in as soon as I could, used all of my skills, and really there was nothing else I could have done. Like, the only real mistake I did was overestimating my ally. And the only real solution to this mistake would be to, well, not have gone in to begin with. But that's not good thinking. I mean, I'm already trying to think, if I think like this, in terms of, well, how can I achieve the not perfect situation at all? Like, how can I, like, it's not even that. It's basically, how can I prevent a good play from, like, how can I prevent myself from dying knowing that mistakes will happen, or something like that. Kind of thinking isn't necessarily bad, but like, you have to try and go for the perfect situation if you really, really want to get good, because if you want to get to the highest level, you have to kind of start thinking at it. So Plague Rider, mistakes made. First of all, of course, completely out of position. He could have been closer. Second mistake, he could have gone in first. I mean, he's a Plague Rider. I'm a Moon Queen. A Plague Rider death is always worth it. Could have used his ultimate sooner. What could have I done? Will not have gone in to begin with. That's really useless. I can't really learn anything from it. So we're going to go to mistake number 2, or clip number 2 rather. This was an out of mana prisoner game, so I say that I'm out of mana.
Okay, now I can.
Now I can. Now I have enough mana. I go in, and what does my king do? Completely out of position, doesn't go in. Armadan survives with 1 HP. Okay, so what mistake did I do? The only real mistake I did was depend on my ally? Like, really? That's not useful. That's not good feedback. It's like, I expected him to do what he should have done. And like, you can assume, or you should assume, people to do stuff at least when you're playing in the same bracket. I mean, I can understand the lower bracket when like you have mixed players, but like when everyone should be around my bracket, or even if not, you should assume the best situation. I should have not gone in because I should have anticipated my teammate will be bad. Like, you shouldn't do that. You should always strive for perfection, because what if he does do good? Then what? Like, you can't just expect mistakes to constantly happen. You have to expect good things to happen. You have to expect the perfect outcome if you can achieve it. So in this case scenario, the only mistake I did was, well, going in to begin with. When I said in voice chat that, okay, I'm ready to go in, Monkey King just stayed back and just healed up or whatever when Armadan just needed 1 hit. You have to look at the situation as a team situation, okay? Just thinking in terms of, oh, you died, it's your mistake, is bad because it won't help you improve as a player. Trust me, I know. And I'm trying to get you high on this level. I'm trying to improve you as well. If you just keep thinking that no mistakes were made by anyone but yourself in like really stupid situations, it's not really going to help you improve at the game. So that was mistake number 2. Mistake number 3, or rather, situation number 3, clip number 3, whatever. Let's go. I teleport mid to help allies that are in trouble. Now, I teleport, and you don't know this. You don't know this. I mean, I can forgive people who are like below 1700 to like not realize the correct mistakes because, well, they just don't think this way. But what I do is I kind of assume the best possible outcome, and that is that people are close to me. I mean, I teleport to help them, and now they're going to help me, and we're going to turn this around, and I expect my teammates to help and do good, right? And Infura does a mistake that pisses me off so much. Like, this is probably the most you can learn very easily in this video, Okay, listen. If you are above half health and you have even the littlest bit of mana, if you're above half health, I would say even above 40% of health, do not go back to base. Do not go back to base. Stop going back to base. Like in that Legionnaire comic, full in health mana, going back to base. You are bad at this game. You have to improve. You have to fix this. You're not going to improve if you just keep doing illogical and just stupid things. Like, you are essentially removing yourself from the playable area. Just by staying in the playable area, which is basically outside of your base, not only are you giving yourself experience because, well, you're most likely farming or near allies or whatever, but you're also protecting allies and just in general being a good player. If you really need to buy items, please just use the courier or wait for it to return. Please, because I would rather you learn to use your courier even if it took you longer to use it than if you actually went to base, bought items, and returned. Start using the courier and just stop. Please stop going back to base, because a big reason why a lot of people in the lower brackets just fall behind in levels and then just kind of end up being really low level late game. You're thinking, well, I'm doing everything I can, but I'm just too low level. I'm trying to farm, but it's just not happening. I'm way behind everyone in the levels. How does this happen? It's simple. You are most likely going back to base much more than you should. Every time you're in base, every time, think to yourself, should I really be here? Like, if you died, that's an okay excuse. If you didn't die, most likely, even if you're red health, I don't care. Go to an observatory, buy a health potion, a mana potion, and return to your lane. Please, if you're just in the playable map area, you gain so much experience. This is a big reason why I'm constantly one of the highest levels on my team, because I just don't go back to base. It's really as simple as that. That's how you can become a better player. So we're going to watch Nymphora, which is, if you look at the minimap, she's near the brown circle. She's the green player in this game, green circle. So I'm in the middle tower, and there she is. And let's see where she goes. So there, I teleport. She's going away, going towards the observatory. Still kind of there, going away. I assume that she's close to me. I assume that she's there. There, she's finally close, and okay. That's what happened. Well, maybe Nymphora was low and she went to base. Well, okay, here's a look at her health, mana. Full in health, more than half mana, third skill available. I assume players to be good. It's not a mistake. Like, you have to try and account for players being bad, but if you truly want to be good at the game, if you want to be really good at the highest levels, you have to assume people to play good, because most of the time what will happen is that people will actually play good because, well, that's what's supposed to happen logically. But sometimes mistakes occur, sometimes stupidity overcomes logic and reason, and things like this happen. Like, if you look at her health and mana, there was absolutely no reason whatsoever for her to go back. But she did, for some reason. And I died because of it. And a lot of people just jump on me and assume, well, I died because I went in against enemies expecting my teammates to be there. Like, nobody was close, it was obviously your mistake. No, it wasn't. And the only mistake I did was really go in expecting my teammates to be good, and I can't learn much from that. So move on. Next clip is for people who think I'm God of Han that never admits mistakes or whatever. If you're stupid enough to think that, here's another clip. Enjoy. That was my mistake. Should have been there to begin with, but I didn't think he'd deal so much damage. See, I admit when I played badly. I should have been there to kill Hag right away and then escape, but that didn't go according to plan. If you're still retarded enough to think that I never mention my mistakes, if I never say, oh, I missed that, I said that's bad, or I did this, that's bad, or that was a mistake, if you think that I'm some God of Han, then just... If you think that I think that, I mean, then, well, I'm sorry. Retarded. And I will try and make you smarter, even if you refuse. I'll just keep trying what I can. And last, we have a clip. You will remember this from the last video. If you didn't watch the last video, then you're a traitor or whatever. But wrong. I mean, what could happen? Remember this? Oh, okay, that, I guess. Well, how can waste it, but I mean, he's still, um, okay. Malikan died. All jokes aside, the way most people think, the way most people will think, it will be Malikan was out of position, it's his mistake, blah blah blah, all of that stuff that will not help you improve in any way, shape, or form. It will not make you a better player. And you have to drop this stupid way of thinking. You have to assume that this is a team game and that you can be a perfect player. And eventually you will keep rising MMR no matter what. It will just happen because you will just start doing things according to how a perfect player should be. Even in this ridiculous situation, it is part of my fault that Malikan died. Okay? That's what I assume as a player who's 1700 and above. And I remind you that I'm trying to get you to this same level. Right? What could I have done? Well, I could have been watching the minimap and just could have seen that Malikan is out of position and could have told him to go back, but I didn't do that because I was focused on something else. I could have been closer to help him, but I didn't. Because again, that's my mistake, and yes, he was out of position and that's terrible, but forget that's useless. That's useless. Well, it's not completely useless, but like it's useless to you after the situation has already happened. I should have been there to help him. I was actually going for an invisibility rune right there, so I was kind of focused on that. I should have just dropped it, told Malikan to go back, and just started running towards his position as soon as I could. And notice, like, nobody was there. It's not just me. Everyone made a mistake as well of not being there. It's not just Malikan's fault. Like, jokes aside, really, not trolling. That's how you should be thinking, really. And this is a mistake a lot of lower bracket people do. And like, the reason I rage in my games is not because people make mistakes. That's a common misconception. I rage because people try to explain their mistakes as not being mistakes. It's like, he was 1 against 5. Why should I go in and risk dying or whatever? Well, first of all, your Witch Slayer, if you just walk up to him and just throw out your stun and run away, your risk is freaking minimal. Minimal risk to go and help your ally. Just throw out 1 stun and run away. You're free to run after that. Just 1 stun. It greatly increases your ally's chances of survival. And unless the enemy team has a ton of portal keys, they will most likely not suddenly switch on you after being stunned instead of killing whoever they were killing. A lot of players just try and make up excuses. Oh, it was 1 against 5. I shouldn't have gone in. I made everything correctly. I played correctly. And then these little mistakes where you don't help your allies add up, and then all of a sudden you lose the game. When you could have won, all of a sudden, just like the enemy team is like up 100 GPM. Why? Well, because you just left your allies to die instead of trying to help. You didn't go for the perfect outcome. And you made a mistake. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video, and that is, the main tips are, don't go back to base, first of all, when you can. Always stay in the battlefield, always stay near action. I have decent game sense, so I will stay near action, but someone with better game sense, I don't remember if I said this, will kind of join the action exactly when it needs to happen, but you'll get that experience. For now, just if you want to be better at the game, start staying on the battlefield. And number 2 that we can take away from today is analyze situations better, okay? Don't just go, oh, this guy died, he's bad, it's all his fault. It's like, I very rarely rage at players for being completely out of position. It's super rare that I do that, or like, I mean, like, not complete opposite, but like dying. I don't tend to do that because it is always part of my fault. Someone leveled the wrong skill on his hero. Don't just automatically assume, oh, well, he did wrong, he's bad. Think in terms of, well, if I told him which skill to level up, if I had foreseen this kind of, I could have been like, always try and improve yourself if you can. And in a good way, don't just go, well, if I just didn't like join this game, I wouldn't have made any mistakes. Like, try and achieve the best possible result. And try and not just blame whoever dies. Like in this situation where Malika died, honestly, part of this was my bad because I wasn't there. I was not good enough. And you're like, well, SomaZ, you're not a 2000 MMR player. Like, you're not supposed to. Well, but I'm striving towards being able to do that. And that's how you try and become good at Han. Always assume that you can do better and don't just automatically blame whoever dies. Like, when someone dies, there's something that precedes it. Like, someone doesn't just magically die unless he's feeding on purpose. Like, if he died and you weren't close, well, then you had a good 20 seconds where you were not close to him and were not moving towards him before he died. Something you could have done to prevent it. So, that's this video on analyzing mistakes. I hope stupidity stops being stupid. Before just saying that, oh my god, you died, that was horrible, just you're bad. Always, before you do that, before you are stupid, try and at least think and analyze the situation well, and just think in terms of, well, who could have done what? You can't think in terms of big plays, but think in terms of normal plays for a start. Like, if this guy did what he needed to and this guy did what he needed to, that would have happened. I mean, that's how I kind of think. But that's kind of it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.